English podcast.
From English Listening Pod.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another podcast from English Listening Pod. My name is Lucy, and I'm joined by my good friend, Ryan. Hey, Ryan, it's good to see you again. How have you been since we last talked?
Hi, Lucy. Hi, dear listeners. I'm doing really well, thanks. I spent the last week preparing for a small family gathering. My cousin got married, so we had a big celebration. It was both fun and a bit tiring, but worth it.
A wedding is always exciting. Congratulations to your cousin. I had a quieter week. I tried a new recipe and cooked a big pot of soup. It was delicious, and I felt so proud of myself.
That sounds lovely, Lucy. Cooking for yourself can be so satisfying. Sometimes a quiet week gives us time to recharge, right?
Absolutely. Speaking of finding time, I've been thinking about how often we use small phrases in daily conversation without even noticing. These phrases help our speech sound natural and friendly. For our listeners who are learning English, today we're going to share many common English phrases. We'll explain what each phrase means, how to use it, and give real-life examples so you can try them out.
That's right. We'll take our time and talk through each phrase carefully. Remember, there are more than 20 phrases here. But don't worry if you don't remember them all right away. You can always listen again or write them down.
Let's start with a phrase we use when something is really good or exciting. We might say, "That's awesome." It means we think something is great. For instance, if your friend tells you they got a new job, you can say, "That's awesome. I'm so happy for you." You're showing you share their joy.
Another time you might use this phrase is when you see a cool video online. If someone sends you a clip of a skateboard trick, you could say, "Wow, that's awesome. How did they learn to do that?" It's a way to show you're impressed and interested.
Moving on, sometimes you need someone to wait for a short moment. You can say, "Hang on." For example, if I'm on the phone and I need to look at a calendar before giving you an answer, I might say, "Hang on, let me check my schedule." It's a casual and polite way to ask someone to wait.
You can also use hang on in many everyday situations. If you're in a store and you're talking to a friend, you might see a text message you need to answer. You could say, "Hang on, I'll just reply to this." Your friend knows to wait a moment.
When someone says thanks for something simple, one friendly reply is, "No problem." It means it was not a difficulty for you and you're happy to help. For example, if I hold the door open for someone and they say, "Thank you," I can reply, "No problem." It's like saying, "You're welcome," but more casual.
And you can also say no problem when someone apologizes. If a friend says, "Sorry I'm late," you might say, "No problem, traffic was bad anyway." You're telling them you understand, and it's okay.
When you need help with something, you can ask, "Can you give me a hand?" That means, "Can you help me?" For example, if I want to move a heavy piece of furniture, I might say, "I need to move this bookshelf to the other room. Can you give me a hand?" This is a polite way to ask for assistance.
We also sometimes say, "Could you give me a hand?" if we want to be extra polite. Imagine you're unloading groceries and you have too many bags. You could say, "Could you give me a hand with these bags?" Most friends will gladly help.
Next, when you don't know something, you can say, "I'm not sure." For example, if someone asks, "Do you know where the nearest bank is?" and you haven't been there before, you can say, "I'm not sure, but I think it's down that street." This phrase shows honesty and that you need more information.
And sometimes you combine "I'm not sure" with "let me check." For instance, "I'm not sure about the time of the movie. Let me check online and get back to you." It's very polite and clear.
If you really don't understand something, you might say, "I don't get it." It means you don't understand the idea or the joke. For example, if someone tells a riddle and you don't know the answer, you can say, I don't get it. Can you explain how that works? It's okay to ask for clarification.
Another phrase for feeling confused is, I'm lost. It means you don't understand at all. If a teacher explains a difficult math problem and you still don't follow, you can say, I'm lost. Can you please explain from the beginning? This shows you need more detailed help.
Now, when someone is stressed or worried, you might tell them, take it easy. It means relax, don't worry too much. For example, if a friend is nervous about a job interview, you can say, take it easy, you've prepared well. This phrase offers comfort.
And you could also say it when you're leaving work. You might wave and say, have a good night. Take it easy. It's a friendly way to say goodbye.
To start a conversation casually, you can ask, what's up? It means, how are you? Or what are you doing? For example, you might meet a colleague in the morning and say, hey, what's up? They might reply, not much. How about you? It's a simple greeting.
You can also use what's up when you join a group chat online. Someone can say, what's up, everyone? And it invites people to share news or thoughts.
Sometimes you want to show you understand someone's feelings. You can say, I feel you. It means I understand how you feel. For example, if a friend says, I'm so tired from studying all night, you can reply, I feel you. I stayed up late last week reviewing for my exam too.
Keep in mind that I feel you is quite informal. Use it with friends or people your own age. If you speak to someone older or in a formal setting, you might say, I understand how you feel instead.
When someone has something to say and you want to listen, you can say, I'm all ears. It means I'm listening carefully. For example, if someone says, I have an idea for our project, you could say, I'm all ears. Tell me more. This phrase shows you are ready to hear what they have to say.
That's a great phrase. Another useful one is, by the way. We use it to add new information that is not directly connected but still important. For example, by the way, the office will be closed on Friday for a holiday. You bring up something new that people should know.
Yes, and you can start an email with, by the way, I have attached the files you asked for. It makes your message clear and organized.
When you want to talk about something that is very easy, you say, it's a piece of cake. It means it's simple. For example, if someone asks if a recipe is difficult to make, you might say, no, it's a piece of cake. You just mix the ingredients and bake for 20 minutes.
Using that phrase can make people feel less worried. If your friend says, I'm nervous about the test, you could reply, don't worry, this chapter is a piece of cake after all the practice we did.
Another common phrase when you want to stop work or an activity for the day is, let's call it a day. It means, let's stop now and continue tomorrow. For example, if you and your friend have been hiking for hours, you might say, I'm tired. Let's call it a day and head back to the car.
You can also use it at work. If your team has made good progress, you might say, we're done with the main tasks. Let's call it a day. It signals a break.
When you make a mistake, a very casual way to admit it is, my bad. It means, my mistake. For example, if you grab the wrong coffee cup, you could say, oh, my bad. I took your cup by accident.
That phrase helps keep things light. Instead of getting upset, you quickly admit the error and move on.
If you can't go to an event, you can say, I can't make it. It means I'm not able to go. For example, thanks for the invitation, but I can't make it to dinner tonight. I have to work late.
You can also give a reason after. I can't make it to the meeting because I'm feeling unwell. It's polite and clear.
When you want to let someone else decide, you say, it's up to you. It means you choose. For example, do you want to watch a movie or go for a walk? If you're okay with both, you say, it's up to you.
That phrase shows you respect the other person's preference. It's helpful when planning with friends.
Sometimes you hear fair enough. It means you accept what someone says is reasonable. For instance, if someone says, I prefer to work in the morning, you can reply, fair enough. Let's start early then.
Use fair enough when you understand someone's point, even if it is not exactly what you wanted. It keeps the mood friendly.
When you want someone to tell you later about something, you can say, let me know. It means, tell me when you have the information. For example, let me know when you have the report ready.
People like that phrase because it gives them freedom to follow up when they are ready. It's polite and clear.
To start working on something immediately, you say, let's get started. It means, let's begin now. For example, at the beginning of a cooking class, the teacher might say, hello everyone, welcome. Let's get started with today's recipe.
You can also say it in group projects. We have a lot to do today, so let's get started. It motivates the team.
When the person you were just talking about appears, you can say, speak of the devil. It means, we were talking about you, and here you are. For example, if you and I are talking about our friend Sarah, and then she walks in, I might say, speak of the devil. We were just talking about you.
It's a fun phrase, but be careful. It's informal and used with people you know well. If you're not feeling well, you might say, I'm under the weather. It means I feel sick. For example, I think I'll stay home today. I'm under the weather.
You can also use that phrase to explain why you can't participate. Sorry I missed the call. I was under the weather yesterday.
When you end a casual conversation or phone call, you can say, I'll catch you later. It means I will talk to you soon. For example, I have to go now. I'll catch you later.
It's a friendly way to say goodbye without making it too formal. You can use it with friends or coworkers you know well.
When you complete a difficult task with someone, you might exclaim, we did it. It means we succeeded. For example, if we finish assembling a bike together, we could say, we did it. It works perfectly.
That phrase is full of joy and pride. It celebrates success with others.
Sometimes you want someone to calm down when they are upset or angry. You can say, chill out. It means relax. For example, if a friend is panicking about being late, you could say, chill out. We still have time to get there.
Be careful with chill out. It can sound rude if you say it to someone you don't know well. Use it with friends who understand your tone.
To ask when someone is free for a meeting, you say, what works for you? It means which time is good for you? For example, I'm free tomorrow. What works for you?
It's polite because you let the other person choose. It shows you respect their schedule.
When you want to move on from one topic or task to the next, you say, let's move on. It means let's continue. For example, in a class, a teacher might say, we've covered that topic well. Let's move on to the next chapter.
And in meetings, let's move on keeps things on schedule. It helps ensure you cover all points.
Before we close, let's remind everyone that practice is key. Try using one phrase each day. For example, tomorrow, greet a friend with, what's up? Or ask for help by saying, can you give me a hand? Over time, these phrases will feel natural.
And notice how native speakers use these phrases in movies or on TV. You can repeat after them to get the right tone and rhythm.
If you're shy, start by practicing alone. Read out loud, use a mirror, or record your voice. The more you practice, the more confident you will become.
You don't have to learn all phrases at once. Choose a few that feel useful to you. As you gain confidence, add more to your vocabulary.
Remember, making mistakes is part of learning. If you say a phrase slightly wrong, people will still understand you, and you'll improve with practice.
That's the end of our today's podcast. We hope these expressions help you speak English more naturally in daily life.
If you found today's episode helpful, please click like, subscribe to our channel, and share with your friends who are also learning English.
Leave a comment below telling us which phrase you like the most, or share another phrase you use.
Don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when our next episode is live. We'll have more tips and examples for you.
Thank you for listening and practicing with us. Keep learning, keep speaking, and soon English will feel even more natural.
We'll catch you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.